The consultation is actually one of the most important visits to any clinic. Remember, we're dealing with aging and we're dealing with wrinkles. It took me a long time to decide to get a laser in clinic. Consistency is key. You can do a treatment like Clear and Brilliant, but do it more routinely. Skin confidence is huge. Do a bit of research yourself and think about what you really want to achieve.
If you've heard of the Longevity Bible, Lifespan, by Professor David Sinclair, you know that living well is more important than just living long. In fact, this show is dedicated to the science of beauty, wellness, and longevity. That's why I'm so thrilled to partner with Melrose Future Lab. Future Lab is Australia's first supplement range focused on extending not just your lifespan, but your health span. Available exclusively at Chemist Warehouse, these affordable and science-backed supplements are the key to aging well. Today's episode features Karen Shirley, a leading expert in aesthetic medicine and a key opinion leader who spoke at the recent Ageless Radiance Club in Brisbane. Karen is the founder and principal clinician at the Skin Clinicians in Brisbane, where she combines her 35 years of experience and extensive healthcare background with the advanced techniques and innovations in dermatology and neuromodulation therapies. With over 35 years of experience, Karen's approach is both clinical and aesthetic, offering personalised treatments that balance patient safety with optimal results. Known for her holistic, French-inspired philosophy of beauty, Karen's clinic is renowned for delivering tailored treatments. In this episode, we'll dive into Karen's philosophy on skincare, the importance of patient education, the right approach to consultation, and her insights into the latest innovations into aesthetic medicine and devices. My aim is to help you better understand how a thorough consultation can really lead you to the right treatment protocols and can enhance your safety and results. Karen is a KOL for Clear and Brilliant Touch, and it's my pleasure to bring her back to Ageless Radiance Club via the podcast today. Welcome, Karen. I am absolutely delighted to be reunited with you, my friend, from the Ageless Radiance Club stage at the Carlisle Hotel to studio time with you. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I'm very grateful and honoured to be here speaking with you today.
Well, one of the standout sessions from the event was when you spoke. And I think the thing that came back from all of the attendees was just how warm you were and how you approached skincare and skin safety and consultation process in a way that they possibly hadn't heard of before. And I wanted to, make the goal of this episode, making whoever's listening to this aware that there is a different, safer, better way to go about their aesthetic process. And, the world of aesthetic medicine can be quite overwhelming to a lot of people. Like, we're in it, so we take it for granted. But there are so many patients that are confused by the options, by the methodologies, the language. And I'm wondering if you could explain how you lead your clients through that haze of confusion.
Well, I completely agree, and it's overwhelming for them, but it can be also overwhelming for us. So it's really, we have to do a deep dive into research. It's also, and that's not TikTok or social media either, because there's a lot of false claims. There's a lot of before and afters that are often doctored, and it's very hard for the consumer to actually work out what's real and what isn't, what's true and what isn't. So one of the things I usually say, if you're looking, try and find a clinic or someone in the industry that you actually really rate, even if they're in another country. Do a bit of research and see what devices, what products and that they're using. In clinic, we're really lucky because a lot of the time our patients are coming to us and they've been referred by a friend or a family member. So we've already gained that trust. And everyone knows that I am very much a research-based, evidence-based clinician. So,
your background is nursing. Your background is nursing
for a very long time.
Exactly. I want to kind of narrow our focus to the thing that I think you were a standout for, and that was the importance of the consultation process before you even get to what treatment they're having. And I think that with all the changes in TGA and APRA, one of the things that is a benefit of all of this change in the Australian aesthetic landscape is that the focus is going back to patient care, patient consultation, and I think that that's something that's built into the way that you do it. So for the person who's listening, it would be wonderful for you to explain how you do a personalised treatment plan, how you approach the consultation process, so that they have some language as to what to ask for when they go into clinic, whether it's for a laser, whether it's for injectables. Let's get the basis right so that we can then go into some of the treatments you do recommend.
Yep. And I think that, Bahar, that the consultation is actually one of the most important visits to any clinic. And I usually say to people as well that if you walk in and it just doesn't feel right, this probably isn't the clinic for you. So if it doesn't feel right, go with that. The other thing too is that people should be offering you a decent amount of time for your consultation. We do an hour for our consultation. So a new patient comes in, they get an hour's long consultation. And the first question I usually ask is, why are you here? Because everyone's different and everyone's individual needs are different, and everyone's thought process on what they would like to achieve. Some people want to go down the injectable route, other people just want to focus on skin, and that's fine, and we've got to adapt to that as well. But asking the question why, and then I usually, because we've got an hour to chat, it allows the patient to really get to know me, but it also allows me the opportunity to really get to know the patient as well, so that we're on the same page. I think that's really important. And then I know I've got a bit of a French ethos to the clinic.
And I do love that. I've just come back from France and I've lived in Paris before. And one of the things that, we've talked about before and is a signature to the French ethos is simplicity and removing the overwhelm and the hype. They just don't buy into hype.
And I just love that whole effortless beauty. And they're all about consistency, which is what I'm all about too. Look after your skin and it will look after you moving forward. So that's really important. And the other thing that I love about the French is that they embrace aging.
Yes.
Unlike a lot of other cultures where
including
it's like, you're getting older. Yes, including ours, where the French are the exact opposite. You are applauded and celebrated as you get older. And I really like to applaud and celebrate our patients no matter what age they are. For example, our beautiful receptionist, Christine, is 70. Yeah. So I doubt you'd find too many aesthetic clinics with a 70-year-old on reception. She looks amazing. She looks really natural. And I'm just so proud to have her as the person that greets you when you walk through the door.
I think one of the things that you touched on at the event when you were on stage, which really resonated, and I guess this is why we're having the consultation, is that there is an enormous amount of information overload and there's treatment overload. So in my experience, I get a lot of DMs from people who think they know everything because they've been to a lot of sources, and then they're choosing something that may not necessarily be effective for their skin. So I want to go back to, like, as you were saying, in your clinic, you have an approach, but you also have an approach as a clinician as to what technology you invest in. And so I'm interested in how you make that decision. And, at our event, you were there in the capacity of being a KOL for Clear and Brilliant Plus, which
I love.
And we're going to talk about a lot today. But I'm interested as to how you make those decisions as to what technology you invest in from the overload, because there's patient overload and there surely must be clinician overload as to where you go.
100%. So once again, it comes down to research. And as I always say to my patients, remember, we're dealing with aging and we're dealing with wrinkles and laxity, those sort of things. We haven't got a kidney on ice. We're not saving lives. So we have to put it into perspective. Yes, we want to get amazing outcomes for our patients, and we want our patients to be really happy with the results. But we also really, and the priority in the clinic for us is safety. I want you leaving our clinic safe.
Yeah.
Secondly, I want you 100% happy with the results, but I'm not going to make the risks outweigh whatever outcome. So when I'm choosing a device, there's a lot of research that comes into it. The other thing that I'm not a big believer in fast trends. So there'll be a lot of clinics that will take on whatever's, coming through the system at the time. I will very often sit back, do my research. I'm not going to experiment on my patients. Someone else can do that. So I will definitely, not a big fast trend person, sit back, have a bit of a look, do my research. And when it has ticked all of the boxes for me, then I'll look at having it in clinic. I couldn't tell you the number of training sessions I've done, the devices that I've had in clinic and checked out and haven't gone ahead with it.
Well, I can say to you from a media perspective, I've had so many treatments. I've attended so many launches, and there's not enough square inches of skin on my body to try everything that's purported to be the best in the world. So I have to have a level of discernment and have some guidance from the people that I entrust with the well-being of my skin and body. And it's interesting that you say that, you don't want to be conducting experiments. So you have to be so sure with your clinical evidence, with your discernment before you bring a device in. And I would love to, I guess, open up the discussion around technology such as Clear and Brilliant Touch. And I'd love for you to share with us what it is and what it's good for. As a beginning.
Okay. It took me a long time to decide to get a laser in clinic. And a lot of my clients are 35, so pigment was a bit of an issue for them.
Yeah, in Queensland too.
Queensland, exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of sun damage. But what it really came down to as well was safety. The safety aspects within that device, next level. So everything from that little roller system that we can be so specific about the area that we're treating. It won't even fire the laser unless it is in perfect depth and placement on the skin. So there's the safety aspect there. It gives out a little, there's a visual message, but there's also an audible message so that our clinicians, as they're treating, know that they're doing the correct pace and that you're getting the correct depth. There's just so many wonderful safety aspects to the device that we just loved it. The other thing too that we loved was that negligible downtime. Everyone's busy.
I've had it
We're
before.
all time poor.
Well, I've had the Clear and Brilliant, not the Clear and Brilliant Touch. And the downtime is super minimal. But the upside was significant for my skin. And I've got melasma, and it was suitable for my melasma skin, and that was a miracle.
And that's the thing. It's really inclusive. It's suitable from Fitzpatrick 1 to Fitzpatrick 6, which means to the layperson, it's suitable for the lightest skin to even the darkest. And why that is because it's the chromophore, or what it targets in the skin is actually the water and not the melanin.
Oh.
So it's really safe for all skin types. Yeah.
So that would make it quite versatile.
Makes it very versatile for pretty much anyone.
I have a great update to share from Melrose Future Lab. Hormonal health is a vital hallmark of aging and longevity. And whether you're navigating perimenopause or menopause, Melrose Future Lab's new ultra-complex supplements are here to support you. Backed by clinical research and using advanced technology for effective absorption, these formulations are designed to provide relief through every phase. Find them exclusively at Chemist Warehouse. Always read the label and follow the directions for use.
The other thing too, which I would really love to talk about too, is that it increases your skin permeability for 11 minutes after treatment by 17 times. So we take advantage of that, and we literally throw every nourishing and hydrating serum and vials. One of our favourite vials is NCTF. It's made by Filmed. We absolutely love throwing that on when we've got that increased permeability. So that is going really deep. So you're getting that extra rejuvenation And I say it's like feeding and watering your skin at the same time as you're having this the other wonderful benefits of the laser as well.
I think that's like a big trend in aesthetics, right? Like treatment stacking. So that I guess that's what you're talking about. Is laser, and I'm going to ask, I guess I'm asking for myself, but I think other people are also listening might be curious. Is laser, like Clear and Brilliant Touch, is this something you can have year round, or are there months where you really should lay off because it's going to...
No, you can actually have it all year round. What I ask though is that if you're planning on a beach holiday or off to Bali for a couple of weeks or something, I'd probably have it when you get back.
Mm-hmm.
But really, as long as you're wearing sunscreen every day, which you should be anyway, and a hat, you can have it all year round. And probably what we recommend is that patients, we usually do it 4 treatments about a month apart.
Yeah, that's
and
good.
Then it's
that's
great.
manageable because
say,
it's hard when you have to commit to more. I mean, it's hard anyway from a cost perspective, but it's also hard from a time perspective to be going in and out of clinic multiple times. It just so I do like a treatment where there's a little bit of time in between.
Yeah, and the other thing too is once you've done that 4, then you can just dot them throughout the year. It's like a maintenance treatment to maintain those results, which is really fantastic. And just for the time point of view as well, the actual treatment itself only takes 30 minutes. So it's actually really quick. And then you don't have the downtime either. So
what is the downtime? What do you think is like...
Downtime, sorry.
No, I'm interested to see what you think the clinical, approach to downtime is, because I would say different skin types would have different downtimes. Would that be right?
Most people with Clear and Brilliant, your downtime, I will say, is 24 to 48 hours. So me, for example, I'll have treatments done, say, this afternoon. I'm back at work tomorrow. I may have put on a little bit of mineral makeup just to camouflage a bit of pinkness, but none of my patients are even asking me, hey, what have you had done, Karen? So the thing that I love about that is that, we can be back at work and social activities with really without any delay at all.
Now, Clear and Brilliant Touch is not full throttle laser, is it? It's quite a gentle approach to laser. So if you've never had laser before, or if you've had a less than an optimal laser experience, I've recommended it to lots of friends who are laser shy or have never had it before. But I'm curious if you could please share with us, the dual wave technology and how it works vis-a-vis other types of lasers, because again, as consumers, it is confusing for us to know what to ask for, or if we're recommended something, what questions to ask.
So that's one of the things that I absolutely loved, and why I chose the Clear and Brilliant laser was there's 2 hand pieces to it. So the first hand piece is the original hand piece, and that's the one that goes from the epidermis down to the dermis. And so it's treating your skin at a deeper level. So that is collagen stimulating, it's refining lines, and it's shrinking pores. A lot of people have problems with pores. I've never seen a device that shrinks pores like Clear and Brilliant does. So absolutely love that.
I get a lot of requests from my Asian background listeners about pores. And I also get that same question. A lot of people in postmenopause, they say that pore size is something that they're suddenly very concerned about. So I'm interested in you explaining that a little bit further, if you can, what the science of it is.
Yeah, so it's literally coming from a deeper level. So that's all happening with the original handpiece, and it's literally shrinking those little pores. So the actual texture will be improved, and we're actually improving the texture in 2 ways, really. We're doing it deeper with the original handpiece, but then we're using the Pamea handpiece, which is more superficial. That's also helping the pore size as well and shrinking the pore size, but it's all and refining your skin texture, and it's evening your tone and helping with pigment as well. So evening out your pigment as well. So we treat, I'm seeing a lot on media at the moment about everyone's doing CO2. I genuinely believe that there is about a couple of % of the population that genuinely need CO2 laser. We are treating the most
and
sun
CO2
damaged,
is super ablative, right?
Super ablative. And I tell you what I do see with that is that a lot of people aren't properly educated on how they're going to be after that treatment. And I think that would turn a lot of people off. But I'm a bit of the belief, here's the French ethos coming back, consistency is key. You can do a treatment like Clear and Brilliant, but do it more routinely. So we are treating the most sun-damaged patients and getting such a beautiful result. And the other thing that we really see with the Clear and Brilliant is that it gives you this real luminosity and vibrance and radiance to your skin. And I genuinely believe that you see that. You get this real glow to your skin. And it doesn't matter what age you are or what your skin was like beforehand, you will get that. And it starts with the first treatment.
You know, I don't know if I can say this, but I always say that Clear and Brilliant gave me rich bitch skin.
I love that. I might have to use it.
It did. Like, I don't know, there's something about that creamy, even skin tone, don't need a lot of makeup, like that effortless kind of vibe that I equate with like rich bitch energy. And it's because you're not masking anything. You're actually you've got that main character energy because you've got confidence in your skin, which is, that's a nice thing to have.
Skin confidence is huge. And what really warms my heart is when we have treated a patient who I know would never in a million years would have left the house without a full face of makeup. And I'll see them pop into the clinic without a stitch of makeup on. And I see that and I go, that's brilliant. We haven't made you look different. You're just looking better and really good for your age. And skin confidence really gives you that. But, that really warms my heart to see that someone is now very confident and happy to walk in without any makeup on.
How do you see a technology such as this working with perimenopause or menopausal skin? Like, is this a good treatment? You touched on collagen before, and I guess that's one of the worst things that happens during perimenopause. That rapid decline of collagen in your skin is quite profound. Is this enough of a treatment to like kickstart your friend collagen?
It definitely stimulates collagen. But the other thing that I love about Clear and Brilliant is that I've worked on a multimodality, sort of through a multimodality lens for at least 10 years. So I'm a big believer in that. It's not just often one thing that gets you the best overall result. So often when we are doing a consult with a patient, I'm looking at the whole face and we're discussing what they want. But a lot of our clients are losing collagen. As you said, we're losing it about 2% a year from about 25. And then you have the big drop of about 31%, 31% with menopause. So we have added with the Clear and Brilliant, we often do another treatment called Chloresca. So it's actually a skin treatment. It's a gel that we put on the face. We pop them under a light for 9 minutes is all it is. And that works through fluorescent light energy. And that stimulates your collagen up to 400%, which is phenomenal. The other thing that it does is it brings your pigment to the surface. Yeah. So it doesn't make pigment, but it brings your pigment to the surface. So what we love to do is do a course of Chloresca, and then we'll back that up with a course of Clear and Brilliant. And so the Clear and Brilliant is adding to that collagen stimulation as well, but it's also evening your tone, improving your texture, giving you that glow and radiance. And we're able to throw in all of those extra hydrating and nourishing serums as well. So it's a really amazing group of modalities.
When you're talking about that, do you know where my mind immediately goes? I'm in Korea, and I'm like in those super clinics of Korea where you go in and you have like full panel beating of your face, like everything happens all at once, and that multimodality approach, but that is always, always, always centered on skin health. And what I'm hearing from you, if I'm correct, is that it's never, ever only one thing. And that a good clinician with the right consultation will develop a program that will address the many things that may be going on for your skin. So it might be pigmentation, it might be dehydration, it might be collagen loss, it might be wrinkles, deep and fine. And then a multimodality approach of which laser, like Clear and Brilliant Touch, is one part of the holistic circle, then you will get your best results. And we're well past the stage of where we do this thing where we go, oh, it's a one and done, or just have muscle relaxing, or just have LED light therapy, or just have laser. The modern and honest approach to aesthetics is to say, you're going to have a program, you're going to have consistency. Can I ask you something? And this was something you spoke about. What do you think is the role of good skincare as part of the maintenance program? A lot of people spend a lot of money on aesthetics, but then they want to kind of go home and not worry about it. What is the total loop? What closes the loop?
I think that as far as skincare goes, one, it's consistency. It can be simple. It doesn't have to be expensive, but I think it's really important. And as far as choice of skincare products, I do recommend getting your skincare from a good clinic. And why that is that a lot of the, we may talk about hyaluronic acid, we may talk about niacinamide and different things like that. And you might go to one of the chemist variety, a pharmacy or something like that, and you'll see those terms on packages. The problem is there's a 15th, the good quality ingredient in there, and it's what fills the rest of the container. The filler can be really troublesome. But getting back to, so buy your products from good clinic, and remember you need or retinol is the other name for that. A B3 I recommend, so niacinamide. So retinol is improving your skin health and increasing your cell turnover, so that's really important, and evens your tone a bit as well. B3 is like a Berocca for your skin, and it also now there is a lot of research and study behind it reducing your risk of BCCs and SCCs, which are skin cancers, and they're doing some studies into melanoma with it as well. So that the studies are done on ingested B3, but applying it topically has to help as well. And then the other thing that I really love is vitamin C for your skin. And so I usually say C with coffee. So use your C in the morning, and it's going to protect you from the sun and the environment and help even your tone as well. So include those 3 serums into the mix is all I ask of patients. And then, of course, hydration. Use moisturizer that you really like, and also sunscreen. Sunscreen every day, it's a not negotiable.
When I had Clear and Brilliant, one of the things that I experienced, so I had the treatment, I had the redness that you talked about, the pink flushing, and then my skin was quite dry after, almost flaky as it
Gritty, I'd say.
Yeah, gritty, exactly, gritty, which isn't visible, it's just something that you feel.
No.
And then I definitely it just soaked up moisturizer, and I was like, so I'm wondering if you could speak to the dual wave technology, and then what your patients report and what you can expect after having Clear and Brilliant touch treatment. So we talked about a little bit of redness that may last for 24 hours. I've definitely had that. For me, it didn't last 24 hours, but I have a different type of skin. It's probably a little bit stronger, but I did really have to put in all that lovely moisturizer.
And I do. And you do. I usually say you get a grittiness to your skin. So you can feel it. It will feel gritty, but other people won't see it. So it's not like the other lasers that they're chroma for, or what they target for melanin, because that comes up like Milo. That's not Clear and Brilliant. It will feel the grittiness, but it's not visible to anyone else.
Yeah, you don't get those dark patches.
You don't get the dark patches, exactly. But I do always recommend to people that after a Clear and Brilliant, your skin's going to be thirsty. So I recommend either just getting a nice thick moisturizer, or even a nice balm that you can be applying for a few days afterwards. You can start your active skincare 5 days after treatment, and the grittiness lasts for about 7 to 10 days. That's very individual and dependent on the person and how much hydration and whatever they're doing to their skin as well. But the other thing to know too is that there's a lot of things that we love having in our routine, in our skin routine, And the great thing is you haven't got to stop your active ingredients only 24 hours before you have Clear and Brilliant. So you can continue that pretty much right up until you have it. And then you can restart it only like 5 days after. So that's brilliant too. And the other thing that I love about it is that we all have things that we love having. So we've got Ultraformer in clinic, which our clients absolutely love. Yes, we do injectables as well. This can all be incorporated with Clear and Brilliant. So you haven't got to stop having any of your favourite treatments either. It all fits in perfectly.
One of the things that we've touched on, so we've talked about what happens on the surface of the skin, but the dual technology, the dual wave technology also works beneath the skin. So is that what you're talking about, the collagen formation?
Yep. And when you've got the collagen formation, so think about collagen, and I know you've heard my analogy before. Think about your face like a mattress that you've slept on for 30 years. It's a bit lumpy and bumpy. The material on top's a bit loose. How collagen works, it's like stuffing the mattress. It's giving you that beautiful plump and cushioned appearance. So collagen is so important. And the Clear and Brilliant, when we're using the original handpiece and going deeper, that's where we're stimulating the collagen there as well, which is so important for everyone.
So my question around that part of it, and I guess this is where we'll wrap it up, is the dual wave technology. So you get that surface level brightening, pore reduction, even skin tone, smooth skin, what we call the rich glow. But
I'm using that.
Exactly. And then over time, you get the collagen formation. And that's why you recommend that you have the multiple sessions, one a month for 4 months, to like kickstart the collagen to get that mattress nice and firm and plump. And you get the surface level beauty. So you get beauty and structure. And then you boost it every now and then with a top-up treatment. Am I correct?
Yes. And that's how people use it in our clinic. They do their 4 sessions and then they just use it like a maintenance treatment just to maintain those results. And I think one of the things that I really love is that with any sort of aesthetic treatment, we don't want to be doing this and this.
Yeah, that
we
wave.
want to maintain a really lovely, natural, effortless beauty going. Not that we don't want to be having those dips where we're feeling like we aren't looking or feeling our best. We want to maintain that result ongoing.
So Karen, we've talked a lot about all of the tools at your disposal in clinic and how you come to make these decisions. I'm wondering if you have any parting words of wisdom to people who can't get to your clinic but want to take something away from this conversation to take to the clinic, that the clinicians that they do see. What would you offer them as advice?
I'd say first and foremost, there's so much you can do yourself. So take skincare really seriously and be consistent. Find a clinic that may be a friend that you have that has amazing skin and always looks naturally beautiful and that you really admire how they're looking. Ask them, what clinic do they go to? Because that really helps too. You already have that, you know what they're offering before you even go there. But before you go to that consultation, do a bit of research yourself and think about what you really want to achieve when you walk into that clinic. And if it doesn't feel right, it's probably not the clinic for you. They should give you a long, lengthy consultation and discuss all of your options with you. And that includes budget, because unfortunately, not all of us have a money tree out the back, and no one has. But, budget's an important thing too. But even with the smallest budget, we can achieve the most beautiful results. So do your research, think you know what you want, but at home yourself, be using good skincare and be consistent with that. And don't forget sunscreen.
I could speak to you forever. And
You're
and
so
I
lovely.
and I have a feeling that we'll have you back on the show, because once people get to know you, they're always, in love with you. I want to thank you once
Thank
more
you.
for being on the show today, and I want to thank Clear and
Thank
Brilliant
you.
Touch for introducing us. Salter Medical, thank you so much for connecting me with Karen, who spoke at Ageless Radiance Club, and this has been a really beautiful episode to welcome you back.
Thank you so much, Bahar. And thank you again. The Ageless Radiance Club, I was very fortunate to speak at it. And I just have to congratulate you. It was such a beautiful, welcoming environment. You gathered the most amazing speakers, and everyone that I spoke to after it just got so much out of it. So
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe to the channel, sign up for our free newsletter, and consider leaving a review and rating it. This really helps the channel grow and reach new audiences.